and all the directing and everything that goes, that we can get our show on air so that you can watch. So today in Coffee Stash, as Ben mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing the Great Outdoors collection. So for those of you who have not seen this before, this is a beautiful collection, and I'm just going to give you a quick run through of some of the things we're going to be using. It's quite a big collection, so we're not going to be using all of it, but as you can see, let's show you some of the bits and bobs. So we have first the stamp set. So as you can see, we've got lots of stamps on here, and they have really nice sentiments, so not necessarily birthday and things, but you can see we've got like a little caravan with the mountains in the background. We've got the Great Outdoors, dream big, think off, travel, let me say this again, dream big, travel often, wild side, follow your dreams, they know the way. You've got lots of lovely inspirational sentiments there. So that's that's the stamp set. Then we're going to show you the dies. So we've got this, oh, I love this. As soon as I saw this, I thought, right, this is my inspiration for what we're going to create. So I've got this idea in my head and I'm hoping it will work, but we can always mix it up a bit and we might change it as we go along. But we've got to try and make something a bit more on the construction side of things. So I'll just go through these and then we'll have a look who's joining us. So we've got the signpost, we've got the beautiful tree here and the grass, and we've even got those tiny, tiny leaves down here and the little teeny weeny bunny rabbits, which is really cute. And then we've also got the like fir trees, which you would see like forest style trees, and then we've got our mountains. So we're going to be trying to create like a almost like a background, and then we're going to put some things in front of it. So, and I'm going to show you a couple of little tricks that you can use with your dies. Then we've also got little stamps as well, which are really nice. So you've got like the compass for if you're out walking. You've got the cyclist, which you always see when you're outside and on camping trips and on holidays, walking. We've got the lady walking the dog with a backpack on. Then we've got the fisherman, and we've also got the man walking his dog as well. So there's nice stamps there. And then what we have got, now I didn't realise we had this, but lovely Jamie said, you're missing a stamp here from a set from the Great Outdoors. It's the dies. So, and it's got like a guitar, tent, fireplace, lanterns, rucksacks, you name it, that's on there. And then we've also got our stamps and dies, which will enable you to stamp and colour and cut out the camper van and the caravan, which are amazing. And then we've got 6x6 pad as well with some fantastic papers in. So I think I've shown you the whole collection there, which is really beautiful. You can get that on the website if you want to do. So let's have a look and see who is joining us, because this is nice. So we've got Trudy, who says, hi everyone. We've got Jan doing the socials tonight, so hello Jan. We've got Trudy, who says hi. We've got Vanessa from Florida. Hello everyone, she says. Hello to you too, Vanessa. We've got Karen Wild, and she says, and we're back. Howdy. Hi, Jan and Sheila. How nice. And then we've also got Stephen, Nicole joining us tonight as well. And we've got Karen as well, who says good afternoon. So welcome to everyone. Hopefully we'll get more people joining us as we go along. I realise that we've been on all day, haven't we? Well, I've been on all, well, I wasn't on this morning, but anyway, so the idea here this afternoon now is to make something with the dies. So I had in mind that we would do like a little scene, almost like a 3D scene. So we would use some of the mountains, which we'll die cut first, I think, because that's going to be our kind of backdrop. So these dies are really quite good because they only have one cutting edge. So as you can see, we've got the mountains, but you can have the mountains as big as or as small as you like. So as high or as low as you like. So what I'm going to do is just going to bring the Gemini MIDI in, because I think this will definitely fit these. So what we're going to do, we're going to look for some colours to use first of all. Now I've brought in all the textured cardstock pads. I don't think this is all of them. I think there might be more than these, but we're looking at these to find a good colour for mountains as a backdrop. So I think what we'll do, let's see, these are not full by the way, so we might have to kind of jiggle some colours around, but let's see what we've got. So I wonder if we could do, so it depends on the on the weather really, doesn't it? When I drive across to here, we have, like, you'll see that there's grey mountains, they look like green mountains, there looks like some that have got snow on, looks like some that are like almost like the darky teal colour. So let's have a look in this one as well while we decide what our colour our backdrop is going to be. And we might use a mixture of cardstocks. So I quite like that one actually. Do you think that's good for mountains? Okay, so let's take that one out of there first of all. And what we'll do, I'll get my trimmer because we want to make it so that it will fit. We'll take this off here and we will pop it onto here like this. Now what we can do is let's measure this. So I would measure this. So we're going to about 5 3/4 inches. So if I just pull the edge of my trimmer out here, so 5 3/4 inches. So let's go to there and cut that. Oh, we'll cut that off there. I think my blade, let me just pop my blade back in. There we go. Put that back up there. 5 3/4. There we go. There we go. So that should now work. Let me grab that on there. So we can cut that there. Let me get some tape. Some low tack tape. So we've still got some more people joining us here. So we've got, oh gosh, we've got lots of people now. Jane Adams, hello Jane. We've got Love to Create. Oh, that's an interesting name, isn't it? Can you, I wonder if that's like imagine having that for your exact name. Hello, I'm Jane, what's your name? My name's Love to Create. Oh, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be an amazing name. I would love that. My name's Love to Create. Well, I like crafting. So hello again, everyone. Love to Create says, now then, Ultra. Thank you for that, Jamie, because I wasn't sure how to pronounce this, but that is what's a beautiful name. That is Ultra. So good evening, everyone. And then M's Books Are Everywhere. It says hello from California. I'm excited to see more of you, Sheila, and get your take on this collection. And then Kathy says she can't wait to get home to play with all the packages that have been delivered in Minnesota. Oh my goodness. And there's very hot weather there. And then Christine says, hi Sheila, hope you're enjoying being at Crafter's Companion. You slotted right in. Love your demos, keep up the good work. And Jean, is it Jean or is it Jean? Jean-Marie or Jean-Marie. Hi all, I didn't buy this collection, so I'm just getting some inspiration. Nice to see fresh eyes on Crafter's Companion products, and I'm sure you'll put your own spin on everything, Sheila. Well, I shall do my my best. Now, I've not even checked to see if this will fit in here. I'm sure it will. Oh, absolutely perfect. Look at that. So let's pop this through the, we're going with the MIDI here. And obviously, you only need to do that top section, and then you can just bring it back. So it's really quite quick and easy to use. Let's just check that's cut for us. It's cut beautifully. Yes, it has. So let's take our tape off there. And you can see now, I just need to snip that little bit. I've just dragged a little bit of the colour off there. If I put this onto the whiteboard now, you can see that straight away we've created some mountains. Now, I think if we choose another colour, and maybe do it the other way around, that would give us, let's go with like, let's change the card up a bit here. I'm wondering if we go with something a little bit more, that colour, is that too dark? Or do we need something a bit more bluey? Oh, decisions, decisions, decisions. This is the problem. No, because I'm thinking, Jamie, that we might do sky. We might not. We might just do it so that we're just looking at the mountains. So I need another colour that would work for mountains. That would be. I mean, we could put green, couldn't we? Is that too bright? Do you reckon? Let's have a look and see. Let's bring. Yes, because we're going to have grass, aren't we? Okay. That one, I think it might work actually. We can't tell until we've actually cut it. Exactly. It can look wrong. And we can always add some ink to it as well, just to make sure it's... so we were going with 5 3/4, weren't we, roughly? 5 3/4 inches. Again, now we can get the die. Where have I put the die? It's here, still attached to the card. So we can use that tape again. So let's pop this here, like that. And again, this is something that you could do on a card. You know, you could do exactly this on a card. It might be a bit chunky by the time we get to the end of it. So you might then want to, I'm just going to go a bit further with that just to make sure. So you might want to just, you know, think about putting it in a box if it's going to be a card. Right, okay, so let's just do a little, pop that off there. And again, I'm just going to do a snippy bit here, like that. Okay. So now if we bring in the original mountain set that we did, see, now we could do it like that. So that looks a bit more like the Lake District does now when I'm driving home. It'll be like that later perhaps. So what we're going to do now, just to make that a bit more realistic, I'm going to grab my ink pads and I'm going to blend a little bit on there. So let's go with... so we've got a grey, actually I'm going to use the green. So I'm going to bring these 2 greens in, and this just make it a little bit more kind of realistic, I think. So remember, you can use those dies the opposite way around. So let's go with the grasshopper on this one, and I'm just going to take a bit of ink and just go around the edges like that. Straight away, that makes it a bit more realistic. And then, of course, you could also put some white on the top for, like, snow on the peaks. There could be some snow up there, so you could be making it for a Christmas card even. Okay, we'll just go a little bit down the sides here, because we might end up changing our mind here about what we make. But that makes a difference to that straight away, and you'll notice it more when we put the other piece on there. So this time we'll go with a darker green, and this is smoked emerald. So let's go with that on there, and then we can see how they look when we put them together. And don't be afraid of putting the ink on. I think it's going to look like nice as well, because we've got different cardstocks. So we've got some just flat plain cardstock, and we've also got some textured. So that will give us a little bit more of an interesting overall effect. So let's just look at that now. So we'll pop that onto there, out of the way for a minute. Okay, so now if we do that now, so you can see it better now. That's much more defined, isn't it? And it looks like we've got, you know, a couple of layers of really high mountains. You could do it the other way as well if you wanted to, but I quite like the grey in the distance. I think definitely as you go further back, if you look at mountains, they tend to look like green at the front, then they go a bit greyer, then they go a bit more purpley and lilac. So I think that's better, isn't it? So that is, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the look of that. So what we need to do now, we need to do some trees. So let's pop that die back on there, because we're done with the mountains for now, unless we decide we're going to put more on. So if I pop that onto there, because we don't want to lose any bits. And then we're going to do the trees next. So we've got the trees. Oh, this is nice. And again, this would be a great one for Christmas, wouldn't it? It would be actually really, really nice, because we could do, I'm wondering if we use these bits as well that we've just, because we could then do layers of trees. But we will have, now then, let me see, I did think about the, to go with the mountains, I did think about that more bluey, was it in this one? No, it wasn't, it was in this one. Let me grab this. So, I'm using the, we mentioned this in the earlier show, we've got lots of different pads. None of them. Oh yeah, the linen cardstock would work beautifully. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we just have down here like packs of card and stuff that we can use. If they're not on the website, then definitely look at the linen cardstock, because every time we do a collection, there's usually a linen cardstock pack with that, and that's, I'm thinking how many are in there. There's 6 colours, aren't there? Are there? Right, okay, but they're all in really lovely colours, like we had some with the Vegas collection, we've had some on yesterday with the retro collection, we had some on the day before, I think, with the candlelight. But yeah, look, at the linen card is lovely, and that's actually got more chunky texture. You don't have to use these cardstocks. If you've got some plain cardstock, you can use greens that you've got. You might want to put them through like your 2D embossing folders to just give a bit of texture. So there's always ways around it. I'm just grabbing what we've got here. So yeah, definitely whatever you've got will work. So I want to find, there was a really nice like kind of darky bluish. Yeah, it's in this one. I've closed it up. There we go. Is it that one? Yeah, I think what we'll do like 2 or 3 rows of trees. So we're kind of creating almost like a deep forest. Yeah, it could look like a night scene as well. I mean, you could do something like this and put lights in it. You know, get some of the little fairy lights. I always have a set of those in my bag, just in case, because they really are the best thing. So what we'll do here is we will tape the die off. Now then, I'm not sure how deep I want this to be, so that's the reason why I've not cut a strip. You could do, but for now I might just do a couple of pieces from this and flip the trees around. It depends how they look. So let's get this now, and we'll pop this onto here. Do you know, I love this. I love the fact that you can trust this to put your die in on top of your cardstock, and then, you know, it's very rare that it will move, so you don't always have to tape it down. I've got complete confidence that we can put that in there and it will cut. Definitely. Yeah, I've been using the mini as well back at the house where we stay when we're up here, and it's just really, really good. Right, let's look at this. So this is quite amazing now. Oh my goodness, these trees are quite amazing. Let me snip that little bit out, because I didn't cut that quite as narrow as I could have. Right, okay, so let's look at these now. Oh my goodness, these trees are incredible. These are so realistic. Wow. And all the little bits have dropped out as well, because we've got, apart from 2 or 3 there, which I'm just going to poke out. Is that one? Yep. Look how nice these trees are. Put it on the white in a minute, and you'll be able to see how lovely it is. So let's put it onto the white first. That, isn't it nice, that's really, really nice. And again, if we then go, okay, we're going to have those like here. Yes, of course, let me move that down, and then Jamie can get that. So if you imagine that now, you can alter the height of anything with these, because you've not got a point where it's completely cut off. You determine how big you want these to be or how high you want them to be. So you could make something that's just got really, that gives the effect of absolutely huge mountains towering off up into the sky. Or you can make it so that they'll look a little bit lower by bringing this in. And this then starts to look like these are on a hill in front. So depending on how you place it, it almost feels like you're going, you know, you create, like this is going further away, and this is coming nearer, or that this is a huge, vast landscape. So you can really play around with it and do some amazing things with it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm still going to just leave that on that whole length for a minute while we cut some more trees. So I think what we'll do is we'll cut a set from this. Let's have a look how this would be. I'm just wondering if this would, I think we might cut a set out of both actually. Let's just see. Let's cut it out first, and then we can decide. I'm just going to tap those bits out of there. There's another little 1 or 2 stuck there. So let's do that. Okay, so we're going to pop this in again, and this time we'll do it on this green that we used for the mountains. So now that's going to cut because it's a bit shorter. It should still, no, I might do it a slightly thick, or a slightly deeper one there, because I don't want right, we need to cut that a bit thicker. So I'm going to do that with something else, just because I don't want to not have it all joined together at the bottom, if that makes sense. So let's go with, we'll just use one of these as well. Oh, actually, we had a piece of this before, didn't we? That's different. Let's cut a piece from that. Let's cut a set of trees from that. Okay, so best thing to do is to measure it, and I can cut this along the wiggly edge up there because I want those to be probably tucked behind. So that's about 3¼ inches that deep that way, and then we need it to just be, we can just cut this extra bit off here, and then by about 5 3/4, just under 6 will work. We just put that there. So now then we'll put this on here. Have we got anyone else joining us, Jamie? Or okay, hello. They're amazing. Can you imagine if you cut them in lovely, well, even in this colour, and then cut them again maybe in white, and just trim the tops off, the white bits, and stick them on the top, just to make it look like these are totally covered. Or use some of the, is it the puffy snow? You could put some of that on top and heat it up. Yeah, put some glitter in it as well. But those trees are incredible. So what we'll do now, we're going to cut this different colour, and I think this will allow us to almost make like a forest effect. So let's see, let's pop this one out of here. Ooh, I like them out of this colour. This is unusual. And what we'll do is I'll just snip that little bit there, because I did go a bit wider with the cardstock, but that's okay. So I just poke out a couple of little bits on there, and this is slightly thicker cardstock, but it has cut beautifully, and they are easy to just pop out. And we all know this is therapeutic, popping out the bits there. We love to do that. Oh, really? Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's really good. You know, I think this would be really nice for a Christmas card, because when you look at what we're creating here, it could be winter, it could be summer, it could be, you know, it could be up on the Rockies in Canada, it could be up on the, you know, the Grampians in Scotland, it could be all over the world, probably even like Chile or somewhere like that. I'm not sure what trees grow up there, but yeah, amazing. Look at those trees. So now I think we need to do another green piece, just to make that a bit more lifelike. We might have to mix. I'm not sure if I want those trees behind or those trees at the front, or if we have those. Do you? Yes, Jamie's saying he prefers the trees like that. I mean, we could, in theory, do it like that, so you've got your drop shadow as well. And then we could do, if we cut another set in the green. Oh, I'm just looking what other colours I've got here. These are different. No, they're the same. That green is too bright for me. But we can ink these as well. So we'll ink the paler ones, and that will lift them as well and make them more prominent. So again, let's do another piece of this. Now we have got like a tree, almost like a sycamore tree, which is just, that's the one that's got the grass on as well. So we will use that. Now the idea is that I would make this little scene, and I would then put the signpost on there. I've already cut some of the signposts, which are fabulous. But I think as well with the signpost, I think if we chop into the actual signposts themselves, we can make a little fence as well from those pieces. So there we go. So we're going to pop this through the folder now, and then we will have some green. We can ink these. We'll ink those like beigey coloured ones that we just cut, and then we can see where we're up to then with what we've cut. So I'm just winding it back again as well, because these are quite detailed trees. There we go. I am so glad that I've got this set, because these trees bring me absolute joy. It's really nice, isn't it? I think it can be, yeah, definitely, Jamie. Jamie loves this collection as well. He's just saying how great this is, and I think you could use it for so many things. I mean, I've just had another thought there now. Wouldn't this be nice on your Christmas table if you made, I wonder if you could make like napkin rings with them. So let's pop these. Yeah, can you imagine if you did like a pocket, if you had them there like that, and then you had like your knife, fork and spoon, and then you could make like a piece that would go over the top somehow, something kind of like that, and you could have someone's name on it, and you could put, so straight away you've got that, which, you know, but you could then, let me grab this one, and let's change that over. So let's change that. Imagine, oh, wait a minute, yeah, imagine we've not cut trees from that. You could do that on there, like that. Cut this a bit deeper, put someone's name on, and then cut it there, and then roll it round. There'd be enough there for you to roll it and make a napkin ring. So again, it's about thinking of different things that you can do with it. As we said earlier on today, with the stamps, it's really good to be able to have those kind of options. Now look at this now. Once we start to put the trees behind each other, you can see that we're doing that way, aren't we, Jamie? We're going with the darker one. And then we could put this one like this, so we have a drop shadow. We can bring this one into the front, and if we put some ink on this now, so let's get some ink, and I think we'll go this time with the brighter green that we used before, the grasshopper, I think. So let's see if it shows up. It might not do. Don't think it will actually. We'll go with grasshopper on here. Okay, because that will just tone the edge of those leaves like that. And obviously these are they're not frail, but because they've got lots of holes in and they're quite thin, you know, do maybe give them a bit of support if you're just inking them like freehand in the air like I am. You know, the other thing to do is put them on your desk and bring it in that way. But again, because we've got little branches with little gaps in, it's not always the easiest thing to do. So, right, so we've got, let's see who we've got now. So we've got Karen again, who says, you can use the negative of the cutouts for shadow. Absolutely, so bring these in, look at these. So these are now, this is what we've cut this from. So you can see how that's cut from there. That gives a totally different set of trees. Isn't it a bit scary, so Halloweeny? Also, they could be, you know, sometimes I went to Iceland a few years ago, and I know this is not the same, but there were lots of rocks piled up on top of each other. That reminds me of that, but it also looks a bit like stalagmites or even stalactites that way down, you know what I mean? Bit kind of rocky more than tree-like, so definitely keep those, but you could, as Karen is saying, use those behind as well. That just makes that forest more dense, doesn't it? So I think that's really, really great idea. So well done, Karen, on that. Alison says she loves this die, and she's used the waste also as a reflection. I didn't pick up on that just because I think I'm concentrating on the time and I'm throwing him to the side and not really paying that much attention to the waste pieces. But I know that you will do that. And again, it's all about using every little bit, looking at the bits that are not meant to be the die cuts, but in fact, they are actually, they will make something else. So we've now got these trees. We've now got a bit of green on those. So you can see that brings it to life. Let's do a bit of the darker green on here. So we'll bring the darker green in. And this was the smoked emerald. So I think this will definitely be better on this green because it's darker. It's always good to go darker on something because it then makes it look a bit more realistic. So let's just go in with that. I'm really enjoying doing this. I hadn't cut any of this before. I was only given this collection probably less than a fortnight ago when I came. Lovely Liam just said, there's a box of product for you, all the new Christmas launches. So you can take those with you, and those are yours to use on the shows and things like that. So of course I've taken them home, and each time I have another show and they'll say this is on it, then I go through the box and go, right, yeah, that's the collection I'm using. With Crafty Stash, we get a bit more freedom, so we can choose what we do. And I looked through my collections I had at home the other day when I'd finished my prep for the shows I was recording for yesterday, and I was like, oh my, let's use the Great Outdoors, because this is just, look at that forest now. Oh, it's really, isn't it really clever how it works like that? And you could just go on forever and ever doing that. That's really amazing, isn't it? And you can lift it up, you can have it so it's a bit more like that, you can have it spaced out, you can move them, if you wanted to, you could move them along a bit like that. So it's different however you look at it, but I think that's really, really clever, isn't it? Yes, so I think what we'll do, Jamie's just saying, surely if we stick that with foam pads, that would work better. Well, absolutely, because then that will get that depth in between, and I think we'll do the same as well with this. I might actually just use some of the tape, actually. Let me just grab that tape, because I think that would give us, yeah, the foam on a roll, yeah. I'm not going to sing it. They kept trying to catch me out with that last week, and then they did in the end on Saturday. No, it was when I was with Becky, and she kept saying, yeah, she said, so what are you using there, Sheila? And I said, oh, I'm using like just double-sided tape, but could you use other things? And I was like, yeah, you could use foam pads. Is there anything else you could use? I was like, well, you could use like, you know, glue gel, silicone glue gel. And it kept going on like this, and I just didn't twig. And then all of a sudden, I said, oh, you could use some foam on a roll, and that was it. Well, everybody started singing in the gallery and everything, foam on a roll, foam on a roll. And I was like, oh my goodness. So yeah, they said, yeah, we've been trying to get you to say it for ages. And I was like, right, well, I've done it now, but I had no idea. Oh, I'm sure I will. Right, so let's trim. I'll do it with my trimmer so it's nice and neat. I'd be interested as well to see or hear what people have actually made with this. If anybody's watching, let us know what you've made with it, because it'd be really nice. Have you made cards? Have you made something a bit more three-dimensional like we're doing here? Have you made something that's just flat? Have you used everything on one project? Oh yeah, definitely. If you can send some pictures in, that would be amazing. That would be great. So we can put another piece of the foam on here, and then what we'll do, because that will just make it stand up, I think, and because it's a long line, if I'd used foam pads, I would have had to use such a lot of pads that I think this will work well. And then what we might have to do is build up a couple of layers just to kind of get it so that it's, I might put an extra bit there, just a bit shorter, just so I can raise that up a little bit higher. Or a bit, sorry, I want this to be a bit lower than I had it, but I hadn't got the pads on, so now that will be better. Okay, that looks better, doesn't it? Okay, so, and I can always trim an extra bit off here. So let's pull this down a bit while we just stick this on where we want it to be. And that's, do you reckon that looks okay? That's quite a full forest, isn't it? Now, if you don't want these little bits to be on the end here, you can chop those down as well. But I quite like those, because I think we're going to be putting some extra bits on there as well. And we'll also, I think, I don't know if we should raise the, what do you think? Raise the mountains? We should, shouldn't we? Like, let's raise the mountains. I'll grab some pads for that. I'm going to see if we've got some of the big ones, because they would be better, I think. Yeah, we've got some of these. So 2 or 3 of these just along here would work, I think. That would be good. We can use that one. We'll put 3 on here, just so that we know it's going to stay where we put it. And then we can actually see how that looks. That's better now, and you'll see once we kind of get more on there how it works. So let's put that on here. So I'm going to do next, might end up being just like a panel that we do, because I'm not sure we've got enough time. If we'd had 2 hours, I think we'd have been able to make a kind of bigger thing. Okay, so we've still got 25 minutes left. So you can start to see now, if I turn it that way, you can start to see how the depth is building up there like that. Okay, so now what I want to do, I'm going to bring in some of the signposts, because these were, if I pop them on here, you can see, these are fabulous. And my idea was, if we could get this, and I still think we might be able to do it, if I score along here, we might be able to get it to stand up. And that would be in the background. The other thing to do is to maybe score, maybe like along here. So it gives us some height. We might do that, and then this bit would be our kind of floor, and this would be up here as a backdrop, if that makes sense. Because then we can put our fence posts on. The fence post will be near to us. The trees will be back. So let me get my scoreboard, and we'll score that, and then we can at least make it start to stand up, even if we don't get it all completely finished. We'll have some dimension on there. So you think you've got loads of time with an hour, and it does honestly fly by, doesn't it? Right, let's see then. So let's score this now. So this is roughly, I want to say about 21, 22 centimetres in height or width there. And this was, I think we did, what did we do? Well, we didn't measure it in centimetres, did we? In centimetres, I've just gone a little bit off there, 14.5. And if you're doing it in inches, it would be probably about 8.5, maybe 8.75 inches lengthwise. And then that way it will be about 5.75, yeah, because obviously that's how we measured it. So let's score it then. It doesn't matter which side we score it on. We're going to do, let's do it. Let me get my signpost and imagine how this is going to be. So I think if we do it at maybe 2, or let's do it at 2. Now do you think? 2. Like that. It does, doesn't it, give us room for the trees? It does. Now what I'm going to do as well here, I'm just going to trim this little bit off, because I went a bit kind of off there. So we're just, that's better, that's neatened it up. And then we can do that. And that one, in fact, look at that now, because we've almost made a card. Haven't we? If I stand it up like that, we've almost made a card with the front on. So again, because look at this. So again, this is an accident that could work as like a card. It could actually work as a little card like that. That's not the intention, but I might keep it like that, because that will mean then you'll be able to see it once we've got our trees. We'll cut the trees. I might be able to do this on my trimmer. If I can trim that to that kind of there, like that. Is there only you and me left in the building now, Jamie? Just the two of us? Oh, we could craft all night and no one would know, would they? No one would know. Right, and that's not gone right the way through, just because it's because of the bulk we've got here with the 3 layers. So you can either just trim it with your knife. That's the only reason. It doesn't mean the cutter's not cutting. It just means that because I've got that like bulk on there. So let's move the scoreboard out right now. So now you can see, if we pop this on here, we've got mountains, we've got trees, and then we're going to put some things here. So this was where I wanted to do like the signposts, because my idea is that we'd have the signpost here kind of quite close, almost like we were walking up to it. Now, I've actually cut about 6 or 7 of these. So what I'm going to do is stick a couple together so that they will actually be quite strong. I might do 3 actually, but then Jamie came up with this really great idea that if we, let's put this one on top and show you. So we'll stick those together. If we put this on here, and then we can lift this and this one. And it actually then, if we approached it as a person, we'd be able to see the signposts going, telling us, you know, you need to go this way, you need to go that way. So it gives us a bit more dimension again with that. So let's glue them together and then we'll see where we're up to. And again, with that, I'm just going to grab my glue. I didn't pull it out of my little, that's my empty one. I keep grabbing my, I've done it again. What am I doing? I've probably already got it out on the table, actually. Well, I'm just going to root around for it because it's, I've got it. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, I brought my my little old tool bag with me, and when I got here yesterday, Debbie had left me a spare bag. There was a spare bag, so she said, you can have this for all your stuff. So, of course, I've put everything in it yesterday, and I got so used to my other bag having everything in the same pockets that this is different layout, and you know what it's like? Yeah, so I'm still learning my bag, as well as everything else I've got to learn since I've joined the team. So, yeah, when I go and stay at the house, I keep going to the cupboard, thinking it's the fridge and it's not, and then I open the top cupboard where I think the cereal is, and it isn't there. That's where the extractor fan is for the hob, so behind the cupboard. So I'm just like, oh my goodness, which direction do I need to go? So it'll all become clear within another couple of weeks, and then everything will be just, you know, easy to manoeuvre. I'm absolutely covered in ink. I don't know, I'm so dirty. I look like I've been cleaning. Okay, so we've got this one. Now, this is craft card, so I've just cut this from craft card. I think what I'm going to do, so that will stand up, I'm going to put another layer on there, and then the next layer we'll do, as Jamie suggested, which I think is a fabulous idea, is that we will just stick it down the middle, so that way then we have like the foldy bits that we can fold out because we've not glued those down. So let's pop that onto there. And in this die set, you have got the stamps as well. And they will say on it, let's grab it, it's on here somewhere in my big mess. So you've got, it's your birthday, you can do happy birthday, enjoy your birthday to you with love on your great, lovely day, best. You've got kisses as well. So it's a really nice little set. Absolutely, you could, if you were making this, but you could do your own sentiments, or you could actually write other things on. You know, you might be wanting to send this to someone who's going on a year's break where they go travelling and things. You could do that. So you could even put place names on there and things, you know, that would incorporate. Yeah, or even on your new home. It could be something like that. You might be moving from the town to the countryside. So yeah, there's lots of ways of using it and incorporating it into your projects. Great idea, Jamie. Great idea. Look at that. That's like a proper busy signpost, that, isn't it? It's like one of those. You go, well, which way? No, it says that way. It says that. No, we can't go that way. Yeah. But that's really nice. Let's add a bit of ink to that as well. We could do with a part 2 for this, couldn't we? Okay. Yeah, Crafty Stash part 2. Or the other thing I could do is, if it doesn't get finished, I could finish it. And what's that? Sorry, Jamie. I could, yes. I've got a page now, so I could take it with me. Finish it this weekend. I could even do a little live on there and just say, hello everybody, here's the finished thing from the Great Outdoors that we did on Crafty Stash. Okay, so straight away, as soon as you start to put ink on things, they start to come to life, which is really good, and it's quite subtle, but it does just automatically make them a bit more lifelike. So if we were to stick this on now, what you could do is you could score along here and bend it. What I should have done with hindsight is actually, how many did we stick together there? Did we do 3 or 4? Might be able to do it actually. I think I might be able to. If I'm quick, I can separate 2 of them at least. Yeah, I can separate that one like that. So if you bend it now, like that, bend one back, bend one forward, that's then going to give you something you can stick it to. So you can stick it down like that. So let's do this. Let's get these in place. I'm going to glue these. I'm not going to put them on pads because we've already got a couple of layers in between. So let's stick those. onto there. Thank you, Jamie. We've still got 15 minutes left, so we might be okay. At least we've got some dimension going on here now. And then, so we can chop these extra bits off as we go. Or you can do them all at the end, it's up to you. It's probably easy to do it as you go because you're going to be adding extra bits on here. Okay, so if I stand that up like that, just while I check how that looks, and then we can pop this on here. So you're seeing this from above now. So we're going to have the signpost there. So what I want to do is just make that score line a little bit more, a little bit flatter there, and then we'll glue this. So we can glue this in place. I'm not going to put any sentiments on there because I just want it to be like that. So we'll leave that standing up for a second just while that bonds, and I can wipe that glue away. And then what we can do is, yes, the glue will dry clear. And the thing is as well, because you've got all this, because you've got all the extra die cuts that you can use, because we've got some grass here as well. So we could put some grass on there. The grass is in here, isn't it? So if I just pop that there for a minute while that dries. So we've actually got, on this one here, if I pop that on there for now, we've actually got a lovely like sycamore tree here. Again, you've got all different kinds of leaves, but we've got some grass. So we could cut some grass, and before we found that really, is that too bright? Is that wild? We could tone it down with a bit of ink maybe, couldn't we? I think we could do that. We could, so let's just cut, we can just cut a piece of this card, I think, to do this. What's that, sorry, Jamie? Yeah, you can change this. Jamie's really laid back about this. He goes, if you don't like it, you can just change the colour of the paper, and he's absolutely right. We might be able to ink it and tone it down a little bit. However, grass can be pretty green, depending where you go and what time of year it is. At the moment here in the UK, we had 2 or 3 heat waves now since like May. And the grass just going on the lawns in the gardens has been going like a beigey brown colour. It's just because it's parched, you know, the sun has scorched it, and then we've had no rain. And so in some places now, like the reservoirs and the canals are really low because we haven't had the rain that we would normally have. So again, it's been a bit, oh yeah, okay. Let's see. So we've got some more comments. Sorry, people, I'm so pleased that you're here, but I'd just like you to get absorbed in my crafting. So we've got, oh, look at this. So let's see. Oh gosh, we have got quite a few. Oh my goodness, we've got quite a few now. Okay, so we've got Maricela from Arizona who says hello. We've also got Rosalind who says, I can see using these dies to make stencils, cutting out some coroplast or acetate sheets, of course. This is on, Mary says this collection is on my wish list, so I haven't made anything yet. Tara says, hi lovelies. Mary Pat says this will be lovely framed for home decor. And Tracy says, whoa, clever girl, Sheila, so many tips. We've also got a great idea, Jamie, she says. And then Tracy says, Jamie's a little star tonight, well done both. And Trudy, I've totally enjoyed this show. Great tips, Sheila and Jamie. Rosalind says, that's coming together beautifully. And loving where this is going. Sheila, you and Jamie are doing great. From Love to Create. I love that name. That's a brilliant name. Right, let's tone this grass down a little bit with a little bit of ink. Thank you, Jamie. He's just given me an update on how long we've got left. We've not got long, so I don't think this will be a finished item tonight. But showing the idea, that's way better, isn't it? It's just got rid of that really harsh green, and though the green is beautiful, it's just kind of made it a little bit less kind of bright, because when you consider the colours that we've used on here, and if I bring this in now, So if I bring the grass in, we can put the grass here. Okay, so we've got the grass there. Or we could have the grass at the front, which I would kind of like. Do you like it there? I like it there. The other thing we can do as well, which I wanted to show you with these signposts, when I looked at them, I thought, can we be really clever here and make part of it? I might have to get my small scissors here, so let's get my small scissors. Can we make this into like an old broken down fence? So if we chop that there, because there's always broken old fences, aren't there, in the countryside? You know, the farmer's not got round to repairing it. So we could have that. So that could be a bit kind of broken down, and we can do that. So that would be one bit of fence, and then we could do, so that's the bit we've used there, isn't it? So we could do this one. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just make it a bit easy for ourselves. Go like that. So now we've got fence, which could go like behind the grass, like that. Oh, you could have a bit in front. Yeah, you could have a gate. I mean, if you wanted to cut it all off right across the bottom, you could. You could even do like a couple of broken bits down here, you know, to make it look really kind of authentic. But what we'll do, we'll bring in that brown again. We'll ink some of the brown here, ink the fence. And if anybody decides to do anything in this kind of way, then do put it on, you know, send me a picture or put it on my page if you can. I'm going to be going home straight after this, so I'm not going to be home till probably 9:30ish. So tomorrow I will at least, you know, try and, if not tomorrow, I'll do it Sunday, because I'm going to be doing some prep at home this weekend because I've got shows next week. So we can, in theory, you know, anything I make, if I get it finished, I'll put a picture on my page, and then you can have a look on there and you can see. Okay, so I don't think we'll get it done because I probably anticipated, you know, a bigger challenge than I could fulfill this evening. But it's nice to have been able to show you the techniques and get that. Let's glue that in place then. So we'll glue the fence just for time and ease. We'll glue that behind there, like that. So we've got a bit of broken fence, which again, I think this would be perfect. Cut it in black, the signpost, Halloween fence. You know, if you've got like scary things, absolutely haunted house, definitely. And you put your haunted house in the middle of the forest with the mountains in the background. In fact, looking at those now, they do actually look like they could be the gravestones, couldn't they? But what we could do as well is, grab that, to make it a bit more real, let's put a piece like that. In fact, we'll pop that half behind and half in front, I think. Oh, let's see. Let's do it. I think we'll do that. I think we'll do it in front, half in front and a bit behind, so it looks like part of it is snapped or broken down. So again, you start to get like an old broken rickety fence. Okay, so we've got about 5 minutes left to show you what we've done so far, and on the show, obviously. Let's pop that there. So you can see now how it starts to come together. If I bring in this now, if I bring in the kind of scene that we've already made, you can see, and I might put some darker ink on there just so it stands out a little bit better. That's kind of the effect that we're getting. Now, what I'll do now is I'll turn it like this way. Yeah, so you get to see what it's like standing up. So you can see that it's starting to come together. And just a few techniques there. What I might do is, the idea was to stamp the caravan because we've got the caravan, was to stamp the caravan and then die cut around it and put that kind of in the middle here, so it's almost like a camping holiday. But I will take it home, I will finish it, and I will then post some pictures. I might add sky at the background, I might add some acetate over the top, but I will definitely finish it, and I will put it on my Crafters Companion page, and then hopefully you'll be able to see it. And then when I'm back next week, I can perhaps bring it in and show you on one of the shows the completed thing, so you'll get to see it better. But that just gives you a few ideas of how you could make a scene. And again, you can make it bigger, higher, wider, deeper. You could do it for Christmas. You could even do a Christmas scene, get some snow on there, do it in summer, brighter greens, you know, blue mountains, things like that. But it's just to show you that those flat dies can be put together really nicely to create some dimension. And that was what I wanted to get across on Crafty Stash this evening. How long have we got left now, Jamie? Okay, let's see if we've got any more comments before we actually finish. Let's see, let me get my specs on and then I can see what I'm doing, what I'm reading. So, Heather Williamson, Heather is a good friend of mine. I don't see her very often, but we do meet up every once in a while. Love this, Sheila. I'm actually making a birthday card while watching the show. Good on you, Heather. That's what I like to hear. And Tracy, I'm so engrossed watching, I forgot to eat my tea. Yeah. And then Jack says you can use the other piece of grass like grass too. You know what? I was just thinking that. Look at this. This is the bit that we cut this bit out of. And there's absolutely no waste. If you trim off those bits there, and I'll just do that before we go, then immediately we've got a shorter piece of grass. You would never know that that wasn't a smaller die, would you? You can ink it, you can put it in front, you can put it behind, whatever you want to do. But yeah, you can get so much from your dies. I think it's really good. This is something you could do with your children. You know, you might want to do it and put it in a frame on a wall. Lots and lots of ideas. But I hope you've enjoyed that and I hope you've picked up some useful tips. Like I say, I will finish it. I will definitely bring it in next week. I'll take some pictures and I'll put it on my page. Debbie will be back in tomorrow, 10 a.m. With a preview. What should be previewed? I'll come and say pick of the week. Oh, okay, so pick of the week preview in the morning. She will be here at 10 with Ben. And then I will be back on Monday. It was supposed to be Tuesday, Wednesday, but now it seems like I've got quite a few shows on Monday as well. So I've just been given some product. So I'm going to do a bit of prep over the weekend. I hope you all have a lovely day tomorrow, watching Friday Night Live, and I hope you have a lovely weekend and that you've enjoyed this. And I will see you on Monday morning at 10 a.m. Thank you. Bye-bye.